The number of potholes in any given 1 mile stretch of freeway pavement in Pennsylvania has a bell-shaped distribution. Okay, that's important. That tells us that we're going to be using the normal distribution in some form to answer this question. This distribution has a mean of 39 and a standard deviation of 10. Using the empirical rule, okay, good to know because we have that in our reference packet for test 3. The empirical rule is, there's a couple of illustrations here that can be very helpful. So we're going to be using this. What is the approximate percentage? Okay, so when they're asking for percentage, it's another way of asking for an area. Same thing with probabilities when it comes to continuous random variable of 1 mile long roadways with potholes numbering between 19 and 49. What we can do is we can take the information they've given that this distribution has a mean of 39. So the mean mu is 39. The standard deviation is 10, which means this is a non-standard distribution. You know, standard normal distributions have a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1 and z-scores on the horizontal axis. Here we have a mean of 39, so it's not a mean of 0, that's why it's not standard, and a standard deviation of 10. So if we add 10, we can go 1 standard deviation above the mean. If we subtract 10, we'll be 1 standard deviation below the mean. And remember that this is a number of potholes, okay? So these are numbers of potholes down 39, 49, and 29. We can continue in this way to add another standard deviation to get 59, which is 2 standard deviations above the mean, and 19, which is 2 standard deviations below the mean. So far, we have the mean of 39 that corresponds to a z-score of 0. 29 would be a z-score of -1 since it's 1 standard deviation below the mean. Since it is 1 standard deviation above the mean, and so on, 2 standard deviations out, add 10 again to get to 69, which would have a z-score of 3, and subtract 10 again to get 9 potholes with a z-score of -3. All right, now it says, using the empirical rule, find the approximate percentage of roadway potholes numbering between 19 and 49. So here is 19, and that is 2 standard deviations below the mean. And then we have 49, which is 1 standard deviation above the mean. Okay, so I'm going to use different colors on these. 49 here, and we're going to cut this into chunks because I know that these sections right here should be half of the portion that is within 2 standard deviations of the mean would be 95%, but I'm only going to use half of that, 95% divided by 2. And then for the blue region, this would be 1 standard deviation above the mean. So instead of using the full 68% for within 1 standard deviation in both directions, I'm just going to use half of that. And so I'm going to take those two numbers and add. Okay, so what we're going to do is take 95 divided by 2, add it to 68 divided by 2, and get our percentage 81.5.